What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Some very, I think, positive news when it comes to the fights with Deontay Wilder and Joshua, and Deontay Wilder with Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder's long-time manager, Shelly Finkel, had an interview with the Sun newspaper. Yes, that newspaper. But he gave, I think, some positive outlook in regards to all those fights happening. One thing he did say, and we'll talk about a lot of the interview points, but one thing he did say that I think stood out was that he said Deontay Wilder will fight Luis Ortiz, Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua in succession. Now, don't get excited in thinking that A, that's the order, B, that's what's going to happen next, and C, it's that simple, because it's not, right? There's a bit of, I think you almost have to understand his wording. When he says he'll fight all those guys in succession, it doesn't mean it starts now, right? I still think there could be a Kalnaki fight before that, and then we get those 3 fights. He also didn't say what order those fights will happen in. I'm going to guess and say Luis Ortiz, Tyson Fury, Joshua. Joshua will be the last, which does scare me, because although I want to see a Wilder-Joshua fight, when the names are Luis Ortiz, Tyson Fury, and then Joshua, there is a chance Deontay Wilder doesn't even get to Joshua. I mean, let's be very, very honest with this one. A lot of people think Tyson Fury beat him, and that's Tyson Fury that I think was undercooked. I think Tyson Fury will come back a lot better. Now he's a lot sharper and he's had more time to train. And Luis Ortiz isn't done either. So it's not that easy, but regardless, I think it's positive that he's saying those fights will be in succession. And fingers crossed, it does start with Luis Ortiz first and not Adam Kalnaki like we're hearing, because we are hearing that Kalnaki will be first. Kalnaki does have a fight with Chris Arreola booked in for the, is it the undercard of Furman or something else? I don't know, but he has to have a fight with Arreola. So providing he gets through that, he could be the next in line. What he did also say as well is that he is still in discussions with John Skipper, which is good. John Skipper obviously being one of the bosses of DAZN. He said that relationship with Eddie Hearn is fractured, and it should be, right? And I think he'd prefer to deal with John Skipper. Eddie Hearn, I think, has mentioned this himself. It doesn't help that Eddie Hearn has called him Shirley Winkle for the last year, right? You're trying to get a deal done to fight Deontay Wilder, and you're calling Deontay Wilder's manager, a guy that's been in the business for, I don't know, as long as your dad, Shirley Winkle. I think it's disrespectful, and I wouldn't want to be in business with someone that's taken the piss. I wouldn't be. He also said in the interview that UK fight fans will be happy. And I like this. I mean, I haven't heard from Shelly Finkel for a while, and I like this kind of positivity. He did mention that he is going to the fight with John Skipper and that Deontay Wilder won't be in attendance. I think when pushed as to why Deontay Wilder won't be in attendance, he said, well, Anthony Joshua wasn't in attendance at Deontay Wilder's fight. Makes sense to me, right? Anthony Joshua wasn't. Anthony Joshua was in America. He could have gone to Wilder's fight. He could have taken, I don't know, the night of training to watch Wilder. He didn't. So why should Wilder kind of repay the favor? So I'm more happy for that. And he also said, and this is final, that those 2 fights, in particular Tyson Fury and Joshua, are too big not to be made. Right? This is a guy that's worked with Tyson. This is a guy that's worked with a lot of people in big fights. And he openly says those 2 fights are too big not to be made. When asked about Deontay Wilder's position with Showtime and ESPN, he said Deontay Wilder is a free agent and that won't restrict those fights from happening. So Deontay Wilder can fight on other networks. I think this is positive news. I think this is very, very positive news. For me, it's always been a case of those guys will have to go to Showtime and fight Deontay Wilder. So Fury will have to go to Showtime, and even Anthony Joshua will have to go to Showtime. But the fact he's in discussions with John Skipper suggests to me that it might not be a 3-fight deal like DAZN wanted Deontay Wilder to sign, but it could just be a 1-fight deal, right? The Joshua fight, 1-fight deal. And then a 1-fight deal with Top Rank. I mean, again, Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder is a free agent. He can go where he wants. But the biggest bit of news from the whole thing, and I think you can go and check it out on Sun online, or go to Michael Benson's page on Twitter. It's there. I think the biggest thing I took from all those things was the 3 fights in succession, right? That he will fight at one stage, and fingers crossed it's next, Luis Ortiz, Fury, Joshua. Again, didn't reveal what order, but he said those 3 fights will happen back to back. I just hope that Adam Kalnaki doesn't get in front of that queue. And again, although it is very good news, if you are a Joshua fan and you really want to see Joshua Wilder, I mean, the fact that they're saying Wilder might have to go through Luis Ortiz, Tyson Fury, and then fight Joshua, That's the only bit of negativity for me. We might not see the Joshua fight because, again, I'll say this again, Fury. I mean, look, Fury beat Wilder the first time round. He did, people. And look, I'm hearing that Wilder wasn't in the best shape himself. So, I mean, you never know. But having to go through Ortiz, in fact, let's start with Kalnaki. Having to go through Kalnaki, Ortiz, Fury to get to Joshua. Good luck. Peace.